The shortboard, you get all ripped, But we used to surf on a longboard, you just get fatter. I was like, it's so true. Go fast down the line and like make sections and get the longest wave you can possibly get. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ching.
Sweet. I think I'm gonna call this board perspectives.
Board perspectives.
Yeah.
That's a pretty gnarly one.
Yeah. We're basically just gonna dive into different perspectives on surfboards. And I've got Shane Madero, the king of big man surfboards.
No way. That has to be someone else. No way.
No, dude. What's the biggest board you have?
12 foot.
12 foot. I mean, I don't know if they make a bigger board.
They do.
Maybe that'd be. Oh, really?
I've ridden a 14.
Oh my gosh.
And it's felt smaller than my 12 foot.
Oh my gosh. Why?
It was made by Jim Phelps. It was sick. I don't know. He just, that guy is. That's why they call him Jim the Genius.
What's the longest board you've ever heard of?
I don't know. I don't even.
20 foot?
No, like 14 is probably like the biggest thing
could...
I've heard of is 14. Like, when I was riding it, I thought it was 11.
I wonder if you could make a 20-foot surfboard.
You for sure can.
It'd be like basically. It'd be one of those prone paddles.
They did that.
Sup squatch?
No. Well, they did that big Huntington board. That was kind of lame.
I missed it.
There was like 100 people on it.
Dang, that's pretty big. 100 people on one board.
I don't know how much people were on it, but it was just. I'm just assuming. I'm just like throwing a number out there.
That's pretty big. Anyway, we're here to talk about big man boards.
Big man boards.
Because that's what you surf. And you surf them pretty good.
I surf. Well, I think I'm just heavier. That's why it's easier for me. I can sink the rail. There you go. It's over.
and so the biggest one that you have is 12 feet?
12 foot.
Why do you like big man boards? 12-foot boards. Like, that's huge. Why?
It's because I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I like to paddle, and I like to catch waves. Yeah. And 90% of people, or not 90%, but like high percentage of people that surf are ripped, and they're like in very good shape, and they're not fat dudes. They're not fat dudes that have been surfing their whole life that just just knows how to surf.
They're also just teeny. Like, I'm like 6'1", and I feel
you're a big guy.
I feel pretty
tall. You can't
tall.
surf small boards. It's hard for you guys.
Yeah.
I see your struggles.
Yeah.
Freaking our buddy Derek, he's the same struggle.
Yeah.
He like wants to freaking like jump around like a little dude, and he's like, the waves just bogging.
Can't do that. Yeah,
you gotta kind of like stay still.
In Hawaii, you can pull it off more.
Yeah,
not here.
Bigger, not where we're at. It's all mushy. You're digging rails and pushing through the wave.
So that's kind of that's like there's give and take with every board, right? Like that's kind of you get a little more paddle. Yeah. You don't have to work as hard because it glides a little better.
Yeah, I chose the take.
but
I didn't want to give anything up anymore. I was over it.
That's the give, right? You're giving up a little bit of performance or something.
Well, I feel like I'm taking. Because it's like
taking more foam, getting more performance,
more waves, more foam. You gotta, like, my dad told me one time. I think he told me like later on in his life, and he's like, you gotta catch the wave to ride the wave. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, it's stupid, but I was like, and that thing stuck in my head, so I was like, cool, I like bigger boards.
Yeah.
But he didn't want me to ride big boards. He'd get pissed, and I was like,
really?
Yeah, I would want a longboard all the time, and he's like, ride your shortboard.
Because he probably took you to Trestles or something?
No, he took me to freaking Santos. And he was like, ride your shortboard. Well, like, the waves are good. I'm like, no, I still want to ride my longboard, and I'm over it. I don't want to. But whatever. It's freaking good times, you know? Yeah. It's like, oh, that's like that bad thing, you know? My dad took me to Santos all the time.
Dude, I grew up at Santos.
Yeah.
I learned how to surf at
Santos. It's funny, like, all of us did. Like, everyone did.
Yeah. That's where you start. Unless...
It's funny. My dad was like, he wasn't like... He just wanted to go drink beer with his friends.
Yeah.
He just wanted to go drink beers with his friends, and he's just like, go explore, go surf. Yeah. Because he would want to smoke pot.
and so you could get away with it down there or something?
No, he'll just say, go explore.
Oh.
And like,
so you wouldn't see it?
Yeah, because this is like back in the day at San Jose, there was actually sand.
Yeah.
You know, and you could like, and there's like a whole nother length of road, and all like the bamboos are way bigger.
Right.
The bamboos used to be huge when I was a kid. Maybe it's just perspective, but you know, they felt big.
I feel like they used to be.
There's more of them, and there's
they're pretty big.
And
still.
Four Doors was like Huntington Beach. It had Four Doors. I don't know if you remember. It had like a giant long beach, Like Fort Worth had the biggest beach. I remember me and my dad, we used to play golf on the beach.
I remember
In the wintertime, like, no one will be down there. It'll be blown out. And me and him will just, like, we'll just have, like, a 9-iron in his truck, like a rusty 9-iron. And we'll just smack a ball down the beach. And we'll just, like, walk up and down the beach just smacking a ball, nobody around.
That's crazy.
But, like, I remember Fort Worth used to have, like, a giant beach.
I remember because I was down by the courts, the volleyball courts, and we set up a slip and slide. Like it was like 100-yard tarp. And it didn't even reach the showers.
Oh, really?
Like, you couldn't even fit that tarp from the ocean to the beach now.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it used to be a lot more beach, sand.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, no.
But they say it cycles. It'll be back.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
We hope everything's a cycle, right?
Yeah.
Because we always want, or it's just like, things change.
Yeah.
We always just want everything like now, and we expect it all to be there. But fucking shit changes, dude.
Sure.
It's like too bad.
We want certainty.
Yeah.
We want it to be the same.
Yeah, and things change, and that's what are you gonna do? Can't do anything about it with that. But whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, big boards, dude.
Big man boards. So
You've been riding your longboard more lately,
dude. So this big swell we just had.
You rode your longboard a lot.
I rode my 9.0.
Yeah.
On a freaking.
I was surprised. Like, oh man, I rode. I'm like, what board you ride? He's like, my 9.0. I'm like,
8.
I thought you like made like a sick like 9.0 like
No.
kind of like like high performancey just like mini small wave gun thing.
Mid length.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say mid. It's not mid. 9
Yeah.
foot's not mid. But
No.
I just thought you made like a 9.0 I have.
Performance. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like a.
No, I mean my board is pretty performance. Like for a longboard, it's pretty freaking light.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's all EPS and epoxy, carbon
Yeah.
fibers.
4-ounce glass.
You got the
Super
carbs, Phoebes.
light. Yeah. But
no stringer.
Yeah. But dude, it was like an 8-foot day, and I paddled out on that 9.0. I could kind of see it. It was like kind of crumbly, because that swell wasn't super clean. It was kind of like all the waves were a little bit.
Seemed like it was like
here.
all over the place a little bit.
Yeah, and then it was also like the waves were coming in at least at churches or trestles, like
Sideways.
and not very steep. Like
Oh.
It wasn't bowling up and like.
It wasn't hitting the reef straight on as much.
Yeah, it wasn't
It was
standing
too
up
angled.
super well.
I did.
It was
honestly,
like super soft.
I feel like an idiot. I was in the desert the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like leaving the desert. And I pulled out. I pulled up. I was like, I was very committed. I already had my bike loaded up. I'm like, we're going to the desert. It was already planned.
Was it fun at least out there?
Oh, it was sick.
That's good.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good out here, but they're calling it El Nino. I'm hoping for another couple swells like that.
We need a lot more swells
Yeah.
for it to be El Nino.
Yeah.
We
But
need
that
to be
for December.
pumping till March.
For December,
was
for
a
it to
good
be
one.
that big, that was like a really good swell.
Really? I don't really notice trends that much.
For December, that was a solid swell. December is usually kind of quiet for us. January, February gets a little bit more swell, but so I'm feeling optimistic. Hopefully, January and February have some more swell for us.
Yeah, that'll be sick. Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about big man boards.
Okay.
What's a big man board length?
What do you mean? Like, what are you trying to do?
For you, like when you're thinking about a board you want to ride.
Like the smallest board I would ride?
Sure.
Like the smallest board I would ride right now is 9 foot.
And what's it look like?
It looks like a
longboard?
No, it looks like a short board. It's like pointed nose. It's like a mini glider. To me, it's a mini glider.
Okay.
But it's more like it has more rocker and it's a twin fin and
it's the one you made.
Yeah, it's the one I made. Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing's sick.
Yeah. Orange.
Yeah, the orange board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you make it twin?
Because I like twin fins.
Did it work?
Well, originally it was during the time where like everyone was making the twin pins.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, I want to make a twin pin, but I also want to make a bigger board, like a board that I could just like don't even have to check the waves and I could just go surf.
Sure.
And that's what that board is. Like you don't even have to do anything. You're just like, hey, go surf. If you're gonna go surf trestles, if you're going to San Jose, yeah, bring a log.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of like a board that's like you could just like don't have to check the waves and you just go and you could surf overhead to
Pull it in just a little.
You could surf overhead to like waist high, knee high waves. And so that's why I made the board, and I wanted a twin pin because I don't know, I feel like twin fins just go so much faster, and that's what that board's all about. It's all about just going fast and just being able to like stay on top of the water, not really so much in the water, and just go fast down the line and like make sections and get the longest wave you could possibly get.
Yeah.
You know, go through the flat
Make the
spots.
most out of it.
Yeah, it's just fun. Like it's just all fun.
So,
And like it sucks because like it is really fun, but then people they're not
they don't respect it.
No, it's just like sometimes you get dirty looks. And it's like I just tell everyone it's 6'8". It's like, how big's that board? I'm like 6'8".
Yeah. Why is that? Why do people like shame it basically?
I don't know.
If you had to guess.
Because they're fucking. Oh, sorry for that.
They're on smaller boards.
They're on tiny boards and they're struggling to catch waves, and I'm being a jerk and I'm sitting outside, and I'll catch a wave.
My theory is because
they're like guys will be
threat.
sitting there.
You're a threat to their
ego.
waves. That
It's
they're
ego.
get.
Yeah, 100%. I feel the same way. Like
if someone paddles out on a glider and you got your 9 foot, you're like, oh, frick this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be on my longboard. A guy will paddle on his glider. I'm like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. Or a sup. Those guys get it the earliest.
I'd burn them. I'll burn sup guys. I don't even care.
Because why?
It's cheating.
Why?
Because they're standing up and they're watching the wave. They're in perfect position.
You can see it way farther away.
Yeah, they see it way farther away, and I just burn them. It doesn't matter.
Around here, though, etiquette is you're not really supposed to stand up paddle where there's surfers, right? Like there's designated zones for the stand-up
you're supposed to go to the end at Sano's at Dog Patch, but they don't listen to that. Now they're like way into freaking old mans now.
It's true. I'll see them every once in a while at church.
And they took down the KO sign. The KO sign was supposed to indicate where it's like if it says KO, you're wrong, but if it says OK,
you're good.
You're good. So you're supposed to be way south,
right?
You know, and for a dog beach, you know, Dog Patch, like by the power plant.
Yeah.
Because those are motored vehicles. Like a paddle's a motor. It's considered a motor.
Is it really?
Yeah.
There's no motor?
There's no motor, but that is the motor itself. Like, it's not just you with your hands.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know.
I've been wanting to make a electric surfboard, like with a jet in it, like a jet ski, motor.
You don't even need a jet ski motor. Now everything's battery operated. Everything works so great now. Yeah. All the batteries work sick now.
But the jet ski motor, just battery powered. Not gas powered, but like that.
You get something smaller, but
engine,
I understand.
Yeah. They
have that.
I kind of want to make one.
Just get one off one of those foil boards.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like, see what kind of, go to like one of those foil board things, right? Go to their website, look at what the crap they get, and then just order the shit from China.
Yeah.
Just you can find their vendors. It's not hard.
There's a couple companies here that make them, but then they they put it on a surfboard, but then they go surf like a lake or like a river. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, you gotta go put it in a wave.
Yeah, right. My boss always used to talk about that. He's like, oh, like he never surfed. He was like, he raced motorcycles.
Sure.
And he's like, but he was like, he's very competitive. He was like an AMA Superbike World Champ.
Uh-huh.
So like anything I even kind of done okay, he'd always just try to find a way and just wouldn't do it, but he'll just say how he would do it, but better. So like with surfing, he's like, dude, I'll make a freaking board with a motor in it and smoke all you guys. I was like,
he's a one-upper.
I was just like, yeah. Basically, I should have said that. But yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever, do it.
Yeah. It'd just be a fun project.
Yeah,
it would just zip around the people at Trestles. It'd be fun.
The fun thing to do is go down to like trails with it. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
And just go
check out.
Go
all the
beyond
white
a peak.
Sharks.
Well, yeah, go beyond a peak over here, beyond a peak over there, beyond a peak over here, because it's all so sporadic there.
Yeah.
It's like it's not really like a said peak.
Yeah.
But yeah, big boards, dude, they're way better sometimes.
So yeah, we were talking about that. You were saying twin fin. Twin fin versus a three fin. What I surfed a twin fin for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my
For the first time.
How'd it go? One time, only surfed it once.
I've only surfed it one time. I need to surf it again. We need to get waves again.
And how'd it go?
Dude, the thing was fast.
Out of control.
The particular board needed a little more volume.
Yeah. But it's still cooked.
Yeah, that thing was like so fast.
It's like because there's like a big open area where there's no drag goes through, so all the water gets shoved through there, and it's just like there's just less drag.
Sure.
But also, twin fins are weird because that outside fin sometimes gets pulled down into the water, so you can't be in as steep sections with it. And so with a thruster, you'll hold in a steep section better, and sometimes like with a twin it'll pull. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing that it does. But the outside fin grabs sometimes, and it will make you purl.
Gotcha.
So you just gotta be careful.
I wonder if that happened to me.
Probably did.
Yeah.
So you like twin fins?
I don't know if I like it yet. I need to surf it a couple more
It
times. It was really fast.
It's a required taste. And like once you get the taste, it tastes good.
It was really fast. Obviously the board is super flat, so that that helped too.
They're kind of designed around that. I made a rockered out twin fin. It's a 9-foot board. I made it more. I got a high performance like longboard. Kind of just like I gave it rocker, gave it tail rocker, gave it nose. I wasn't scared to give it rocker, and it freaking ruled. Like it still goes really fast.
Sick.
And so I don't know.
What is it? A longboard?
Yeah, my 9-foot orange board.
That
one. That thing freaking goes so fast.
Sick.
But I don't know. I just like twin fins.
It was an interesting feel because it went really fast, like going straight, like planing.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, making a section, doing a floater.
Yeah, going down the line. Yeah. Super good.
Yeah.
But once I went down, like I started getting ahead of the break, the curl.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of draw out a bottom turn. It just slid.
Oh, okay. So what you need to do, because it's a wider tail, right? Or you're surfing a fish.
Yeah.
You have to move your feet around a little on those boards.
Okay.
So you weren't further enough back. You weren't standing over the fin. So you got to kind of like inch your toe, or have it as far back as you can, and kind of like you have to like set up more. It just doesn't react.
Sure.
It doesn't. It's not a short board. It doesn't react. It doesn't do whatever you want. So with a bigger board, you're gonna have to move around a little bit, and so you got to like kind of like put your toe. Like lean more on the toe side, like put weight on your toe or scoot your foot toe, and then when you go do a cutback, it's the opposite. Put your heel on it, if you're whatever, But yeah, bottom turns you gotta like kind of like lean into them. You gotta like set it on its rail first. You can't just like turn.
I feel like I was on the rail, but you have to kind of baby it a little bit. It's not as solid on the rail.
Oh no way, dude! They're out of control. You gotta baby them.
Maybe I just gotta surf it more. I don't know.
Got to surf it more. You can't just like be bummed about it. But then like you're gonna get on our shortboard and you're gonna feel like cheating. It's funny.
Why? Because
I used to go back and forth when I used to ride like little 5.6s all the time and just like 5.6 fishes and just like and zip around like crazy, and they're so fun on beach breaks, and you're just like once you learn how to ride them, you ride them whatever. And then you get on a shortboard and it's just like, oh, I don't have to lean back for a drop in. I could turn it wherever I got. I could ollie off a freaking anything.
Even with your 9-foot board?
No, well, with a 9-foot board, it's
just down the line. You're just going
down the line, cutbacks. No, I do cutbacks.
Really?
I could do top turns on it. Like I sprayed a Rocky one time.
Sick.
And like, just like it does turn. That board surprised the shit on me. So I didn't do a twin pin. I did a diamond tail on it.
Right.
And then made it like super. So instead of like the rail going like wrapping around, it goes straight like a squash tail.
Right.
And so I don't know. That thing works. It like surprises the crap out of me. It turns sharp. Like I'm so surprised. Like with the swing weight too, you could feel the big like all the board in front, the swing weight, but like it's really not that bad.
Sure.
And like you could do a big turn. Like you could do a full roundhouse with it, roundhouse cut back, and then like or cut back and then like get back into the section, and you could pop it back in,
Yeah.
into the pocket, and then keep going down the line. They work. It works.
I want to spend a little more time on it and kind of get the feel of it.
It's a.
I feel like planing, like it almost has no match. Like planing,
that's what
goes
they're made
fast.
for. That's kind of what they're made for. Like
but then when you want to go rail to rail, like maybe not rail to rail, like long drawn out.
Yeah.
But rail to rail, like vertical.
I think
it didn't want to do that.
Honestly, I don't think you're further enough back. You weren't far enough back on it.
Okay.
And that's why people put those weird pads on them. But don't ever
what pad?
don't like they'll put like a pad to stop their feet. Like you gotta look where so grab the board and put it like,
Where
put
the
it eye
fins are?
level and see where the fins are. You probably got to stand on your leash plug. If the leash plug's in the center,
Sure.
you got to stand on your leash plug.
Okay.
That's where you stop, But it sounds like, you didn't have your feet far enough back, and your foot wasn't like, you're too much on your heel. You get used to that with the traction pad. That's shortboarder stuff.
My buddy is the one that shaped it, and
What did he say?
let me ride it. I'm gonna have him on next, so we're gonna save the twin fin combo for him, but it's interesting.
Yeah, you kind of have to
It's a different feel. It's fuel.
It's awesome. It's the best fuel.
Well, also it's a fish shape. It'd be interesting to surf it on yours, which is a little bit closer to like a squash tail.
The reason why on a squash tail, twin fin on a squash tail, or on a pintail, you could stand over the fins. So it's
More
a
than a
completely different board. Yeah, because the fins, a fish, the fins
Cuts
stop at
way
the
up.
yeah. You're stuck on the swallow. You got
Right.
these freaking wings.
Right.
You put it on a squash tail, it's gonna be and obviously it's gonna be a little narrow. It's not gonna be as wide
Sure.
because that's what like fishes originally. They're a twin pin, like a twin
Right,
pin,
right.
a twin pintail,
Right.
right? And
Is
so
that why you didn't do that?
what?
You didn't your 9-foot board, is that why you didn't make it a fish? Like tail?
I just didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want a fishtail. I didn't want a super wide tail on it.
'Cause why?
I just didn't want one.
You don't like the way it surfs?
No, I'm sure I would have liked it. I just wanted something different. I wanted a twin pin, but then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a diamond tail instead.
Yeah.
And I made it a diamond tail, and I left too much foam in it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Thing works great.
So,
I'm not mad at it at all.
let's talk about that real quick. When you make your own board,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like aesthetically like probably as good.
As like anything you get on the shelf.
Yeah, anything. Like it's really nowhere near
Yeah.
what you'd get on a shelf.
No.
But how does it surf typically for you?
For me, well, it's like kind of like you don't ever think your own baby's ugly. So you give boards more of a chance.
Sure.
Like say you probably you'll throw this thing in the garbage and or just go demand I want all my money back.
Yeah.
If you would have bought the board, but then if you shaped it, you're yeah, it works pretty good. It doesn't do 90% of anything, but it goes straight down the line really fast or something.
So do you really think that's what it is with your boards?
I think it's that with everyone's boards.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Everyone thinks their boards are better than
the sickest.
the
Yeah.
other guys. I shaped a board that totally drunk and put way too much tail rocker. Then the tail of it ended up looking like a skimboard tail. It was just a weird board, and I surfed it. I'm like, it's not that bad, It was supposed to be 7.0. It came out 6.9.
Jeez.
I totally hacked it apart. It was terrible.
But what? It was pretty fun.
And I'm and then I should have just stopped. I should have not even wasted glass on it. Ended up doing one of the sickest glass jobs I've ever done on it. It's
on a shitty shape.
Shitty shape. And that's the one I made a twin pin. I actually made that one a true twin pin.
Nice.
And the thing I eyeballed it, everything came out it looked you look at it from the bottom, it looks sick.
Yeah.
And then you look at the profile, it's what the heck is going on here? I just got too happy with the planer on the deck and it sucked. But
anyway, yeah, twin fins are fun.
Yeah, you should surf them more.
I should.
Just have fun. Surf on a small day, surf on a big day, surf them all the days.
Yeah.
And then see how it goes. On big, on a big Point Break, there's nothing like a twin fin.
Yeah.
And just be more. Don't. You got to think about what you're doing. I know people don't like to, but just it's not you have to think about it more, but just when you're first giving them a shot, kind of just okay, this ain't it feels like you're zipping around hauling ass, and there's virtually no swing weight because your foot is probably a foot away from the nose, right? Because they're narrow and fat, right? And then, but just you gotta remember hey, this is not just it has a real wide tail.
Yeah.
So you kind of gotta just know that and like put like lean like put a little more weight on your toe if you're doing a bottom turn. I seen guys so many, and I've done it too. I don't know what it is. I'm not very like I'm not thinking like perspectively when I surf a lot of times. I'm not breaking down every like thing. But I've done it when I first started surfing. It's just you got to get it on the rail. You didn't get it on the rail. That's what happened. It slid out. You had too much weight on your front foot probably or something or the other, and you didn't like it. Just flat turned. You fell right on your face.
I think with those boards,
you gotta
they're so flat, and that fin wants to go straight so much, and so do the rails. The rail is a fin, right? The rail wants to go straight, and the fin also wants to go straight.
It
doesn't really like have a tight turn and go vertical.
Well,
but also
it will. You could swing it. You got to do it. You could do it.
I seen my friend who shaped it for me. I've seen him go vertical. Do vertical turns, and I'm like, whoa, I didn't know those can do that. So you're probably right.
You know who's the best? One of the best fish riders ever is freaking Derek. He was like one of the best I ever seen. I was like crazy, like do like back in the day, like doing like full layback 1-footed hits on it, and like top to bottom, just like boom, like at like State Park, like and doing airs, like just doing airs, like surfing it like it's like he really liked Aussie Wright back in the day, and he was surfing it like Aussie Wright surfs. So I'm just like, bam, but he was also a young kid,
That's it.
You just gotta. It's just a learning. It's just a little curve. That's also like the smallest thing. Like once you get that, it's over. It's like they skate. They're skatey. You can skate around on them all sick.
What do you think about that outline? Right, like that rocker.
Fish outline.
Yeah, the rocker of a fish, the width of a fish.
Yeah.
Maybe just pulling the tail just a little bit.
They do that.
3-fin.
No, I did it. It looks weird.
Why? No, but how does it surf? How does it surf?
I don't know how it surfed, but I did that for someone. I made that for my dad's friend. I made him this sick board that it was like he wanted 5'8" only. I made it 5'11". Because he's getting older. He's probably, I think he's like 60 now.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he'll only thrusters only. He's okay. He's good at surfing, but he's just like,
old mentality.
Old mentality. Wants to ride. Like, I want to ride what Mick Fanning rides. I'm like, dude, you're not.
You weigh way more than Mick Fanning.
And also, you're not like Mick Fanning. Like
don't ride that board. That board will not work for you.
It will not work. If you're like a 14-year-old kid, like on its way ripping, it will. If you're like, if you're a young kid and you're just like, oh, ripping all the time, and you're on your way up, it might work. You're gonna do some shit on it, but like you're well over 50 years old, and you're like, dude. Anyway, so he's like, it has to be a thruster, and so that forced me to put it looks so weird. Like, because I put a swallowtail, not like I'm just shaping it. I'm like, oh, this thing's sick. Like, oh, whatever. And I was like hoping, I'm gonna just get him to just let me put a twin fin in it, right? I was like thinking twin fin the whole time. And then he's like, it's like not the right board. And then he's like, and I didn't put a big swallow. It was probably like maybe a 3-inch deep swallow.
Okay. That's pretty good though.
Yeah, 3 to 4 probably. Probably more 4.
That's more like a fish.
Yeah, and then he didn't want it. I'm like, shit. So I had to put a freaking thruster, and it was just like the fin, now the fin setup is so far forward.
Yeah,
and it's just like
because you put that swallow too.
I don't know if that board sucks or not. One of our buddies, he really wants to ride it. Cause like that board's sick. Like that's one of the cause he likes high performance boards a lot.
Yeah.
And and I usually just make like turds, and like that one came out really good.
Oh, sick!
Glassed really well.
About it.
Yeah, he's like, that board's sick. He's like, I want to ride that thing. Like, tell him to bring it. I'm like, he never. It's like he has like a weird work schedule, so it's like we are always at work, so it's never works out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I looked at it, like I seen the fin layout, I was like, it just like, you remember the eye, like when you look at something and if it doesn't look good, because you're attracted to symmetry, right? Originally, like everyone's
Let's talk about this for a little bit.
Everyone's attracted to symmetry. We like things that fit, right? Yeah. And if something's off, you got to trust your eye.
Sure.
Right. And
me being a machinist, that's like a principle, right? Like, if it looks pretty good,
it's kind of going to be good.
Pretty close.
I like a lot of my twin fins. I eyeball them. I just eyeball them like with no like I measured a couple and like I'll measure, but then I'm like no, like I'm like I'll think a number, right? I'm like this is the number.
Yeah.
And I'll look and I'm like from the tail to like where the fins are going to be, just the general like on the board, on the length of the board where the fins are going to be. And, like, I usually go by the rules. Like, I measure them properly and, like, make sure they're all good. But just, like, the location. Where is this cluster of fin going to be?
Yeah.
And, I eyeball it. I like eyeballing it. It's way better. It looks like it. Like, it looks good and it works.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I looked at it. I was like, this is terrible.
And if it looks off, like, if it looks a little off.
It's probably going to be off.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be off.
You know. There's a couple exceptions to that, but like that's like a common principle.
Well, it's a feel.
It's like a universal principle.
Yeah, it's a feel. Also, like too, I'm like,
what do you think about asymmetrical boards then?
Dude, some of them look good. They don't look bad.
Sure.
They look weird.
Yeah, they look weird.
Like the one that's square, that Tomo board. I wasn't into that at all. But also,
that's not an asymmetrical one though, right?
Oh no, it's not, huh? It's just a weird shape.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, a lot of ASIMs they look sick. Like, I'm like, man, that looks rad.
They look weird,
but I think they can't be bigger than like 7 foot though. Because I've seen a couple like asymmetrics that are like, unless it's like a pulled in. But I seen like someone like, I don't know where it was. I seen an asymmetric log, and it's just a single fin. I'm like, what is it gonna do? Yeah. You're not like. Are you like, I'll be like, cool, like you're making like that. But it's like, see, they go for the tail, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to make the tail all nuts. Like, if you're going to be on a log, you're probably going to be on the nose or midway up the board. So, and then like, it was the same rail all the way through. They just made one side round. You know? They didn't even do shit. It was like one side of the board's round, one's a squash.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks stupid. And like, but like, yeah.
So what do you think about this then? If you're going to have asymmetrical board shape, doesn't it also make sense to have asymmetrical fins?
Well, aren't they usually?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's not. It's not. So like asymmetric fin. It's like this fin works here. You can have different fins. I've used to ride different fins all the time. It's because I had a twin fin setup, and I always like future fins. And then I had like the old future keel fin. I had that, and I broke one. And then I had one of those Roshovich fins.
Okay.
Whatever. I had one of his fins, and I just put that in there in place. I was just like, whatever, it's fine.
Oh, really? Yeah. So you used asymmetrical fins too?
It wasn't asymmetrical fins. It was just a different fin. I didn't care. I was like, whatever.
What do you mean different fin?
It was a different fin.
Same exact shape?
It was a twin fin. It was a
same exact shape, just different brand?
It was the same brand. They were future fins. They're both future fins. Okay. But one was a keel, and the other one was a Roshovich fin, where it's like it's a keel but super arced out, and it's weird.
So it's different. It's a different shape.
Way different. I didn't like it.
You didn't like the fin or the asymmetrical?
No, I couldn't. Like, it was weird. It was on my heel side. The fin was on my heel side. So like before on the board, I just thought I started sucking at surfing, and so I'll be hauling ass, and I was like go lean into a cutback. I was on my 7.6 fish, and then like. I was like, yeah, hauling ass, jamming down the line floor or whatever. Cool, I'm radical. And then I'll go set up to do a cutback. I would fall every time. And like, it was just the most wobbly, wonky cutback. And I was like, what the heck's going on? And then I finally got like a different fin setup, and I was able to do them again. I was like, oh, okay. Nice. It was that fin the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But.
Anyway, so yeah.
I don't know if I just wasn't used to it or something.
If it looks good to the eye,
I surfed it for a long time, though. And I got a lot of really good lefts with that fin. So it worked going left.
Sure.
But when I would go
you
right.
You can go straight with it. Yeah, all right? Like,
yeah.
You're going left.
But once I like set up to like do like a really hard cutback, or I just couldn't trust the cutback. Like, you know, sometimes you just like throw a cutback. You're like, I'm just going to huck this one.
You just know what it's going to do.
Just whip it. Like, ah.
Yeah.
And every time I did that, it was just like, blah. Yeah. It was just freaking.
It probably went straight.
No.
You were probably trying to go this way, and then it just kept going that way.
No. It just eat shit. I'll just eat shit. It would like lose power. It was
Oh,
like
weird.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Huh.
It was weird.
Whenever I have that problem, it's because I'm going too slow.
Really?
Yeah, like if I can't make it through a cutback and I just fall, like I just didn't have enough speed.
No,
to
it's
go
not
through that
fall. It's like wonk. It's weird. Like it was just weird.
Mm.
It just wasn't happening.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Let me
7.6. That started the big waves, the big board stuff.
That board.
7.6. Yeah.
Yes.
The 7.6 board started like me, like going like, because before I was on that, I was on a 6-foot fish. That's pretty big for a fish. But I was on a 6-foot fish, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a 7.6 fish. 7.6 fish was rad. I surfed that board forever and just like beat it to crap. I still have it. And then I like, yeah. And meanwhile, I'm always longboarding, always riding longboards, always riding logs, you know. And then got into that 9-foot fish or 9-foot board that I made, and that thing's like, yeah, I haven't like looked back on a smaller board since. Now I'm just going bigger. 12 foot. I'm done. I think.
You don't go backward. You only go up. Yeah.
Yeah, 12 foot. And it was funny. Frank, he's like, dude, you're on the longboard kick. You just get fatter. you surf all day and get fatter on a longboard. He's like, the shortboard you get all ripped, you know. But you used to surf on a longboard, you just get fatter. I was like, it's so true.
That's funny.
I've gained some weight since I got the board.
You also have a kid now.
Yeah.
That doesn't help either.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's fucking kind of funny.
The other thing I wanted to ask about was what's been like the most challenging thing, like since you've been shaping boards? Okay, so also backstory here. Shane helped me glass my first board. Big freaking 10-foot, basically stand-up paddleboard.
It was a 10-foot paddleboard.
Yeah, it was
Sucked
huge.
ass.
Yeah, I just re-glassed it.
It looked good.
Yeah, thanks. It came out pretty good, but it was such a pain.
Yeah.
Like to sand all that was a huge pain.
It was,
but
yeah. I'm like after work.
Yeah.
I'm like coming. I'm like, he's like, you want to help me? I'm like,
no, but this is when we glassed it. When you helped me.
I know. When I helped you, I was like, you're like, you want to do more? I was like, no. But I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, I appreciate
You're
that.
good to me.
What's been like the most challenging thing for you? Like if you talk to yourself before you ever made a board, like speaking back to that Shane now, like what would you say is like going to be the most challenging thing
for making a board? Like what, start to finish, like glassing boards?
Yeah.
Or like
because you do the whole process for your boards, right? You
shaping
shape it
boards.
And then glass it.
What's the most challenging thing looking back?
Like if you're gonna talk to your old self and be like, dude, like this is gonna be really hard. Like, just get ready.
Getting the rails.
The rail's interesting.
Just getting the outline, like, cause I think a outline does a lot. I feel like, and then just like dialing in the rails to where they're like symmetrical and perfect.
So you think the shaping
and then
is
also
harder than the glassing?
And then, well, also the other thing too is like setting up for your hard rail at the end of the board. If you're gonna set up for a hard rail at the end of the board,
Sure.
Like that's always like kind of weird for me to like. I'm like, I always like, I'm like, be careful because you're gonna freaking you want this to be straight railed. You want to live. You don't want it to be freaking so that. But glassing, I don't know.
Wait,
Glassing's
real quick. Speaking of the hard rail, right? Like where it comes down and it's
Yeah.
like a really firm square tail.
yeah.
It blew my mind because I was always shaping these really
Hard ass
hard
rails.
edges.
And now you're glassing. You're like, man, I was
and then it blew my mind. They're like, dude, like, yeah, we just take that out anyway. Like, you don't even have to have it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd get it super like cornery and
crispy,
perfect,
straight.
yeah.
No.
And then they're like, oh yeah, we just blend that out anyway.
We
the
blend that out
glass, you
because
can't.
the
you
glass
can't.
it does it with the glass. Yeah, but like you know how the rail turns into a straighter rail, like like at the tail of the board you're going
It
round
gets a little more boxy.
round and you get it more boxy.
Yeah.
Just like that setup area. No, it's not hard, but it's like I'll tell myself like be careful. Like but the glass does, you do everything, you do all that with the glass anyways. Like
Right.
it's like where you're gonna put your dam.
Right.
Your stupid tape dams. But with glassing's kind of straightforward. I would say just preparation is key
For sure.
with glassing and just prep everything good. Make sure you have everything all dialed in and you're ready to go. Just, yeah, prep is good.
What about sanding?
Sanding wise? I don't know. Sanding. Sanding sucks.
Dude, sanding is so hard. That
Sanding
might be
sucks.
one of the hardest parts of the whole process.
See, but you never. I came from like a fabrication background.
Yeah.
Like I had like sand. I sand all day. I'll sand all day. Bah, bah, bah.
Gotcha.
Being a machinist, like you blend.
You're grinding.
I'm
and
blending steel. That's why when I was like a board, I was like it's foam. How hard could it be? And it really wasn't. Honestly.
What about the epoxy or the resin?
What about it?
Like, was that easy or easy to blend too?
You remove material very fast. You got to be careful with all this shit. You remove material so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. Like I'm used to grinding on like hardened steel, and like, this is like
easy compared to that.
It's easy. Like it's just like okay, burp, 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 okay, we're done. It's time consuming, obviously, and there's like technique and like it's just work.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like anything. It really wasn't out of my realm. Really,
I'm
not saying I'm gonna be able to make like a sick board because I don't know how boards work well in the water. Sure. That's the difference. I can make like I'm a parrot, right? I'll be a really good parrot. Like say if you're like you're Johnny freaking surfboard guru owner, right? And you know all the sick designs and you know how to do things properly.
Yeah.
You come to a guy like me and say, make this. I'm like, okay, cool. I can make it, And so that's all it was with surfing. I'm like, I had like, the hardest part was like figuring out like what worked well in the water. And like, I kind of just like copied boards. Like, it's like you copy a board you like, or you copy someone you like, or just copy something and then just like make your version of it, and then it works out, But like, yeah, manufacturing was never hard for me. I feel like I picked it up fast that way. And also YouTube, dude, they tell you everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like nobody like
showed me how
to. I have no professional surfboard making experience at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know, some of my glass jobs came out pretty nice. That your board on that paddleboard was the worst glass job I've ever done.
It wasn't bad. It was just the sanding was bad.
Yeah.
The glass was actually pretty good. The sanding is the bad part. But I think for me personally,
sanding's the key. I'm not saying the sanding was the bad part. You're talking about like on the fill coat, like the sanding was bad. Like on the sand finish, It was a little rough. Yeah. On the sand finish, it was a rough sand finish.
We did like an 80 grit,
yeah,
and then we did like a 200, and then we did like a 400.
Yeah, so we didn't have the right sand. It was the first board you ever tried to glass.
Yeah,
I didn't have any sandpaper. You didn't have any sandpaper,
and we
made it work. Yeah, we made it work. What are you gonna do?
And then we tried to put polish on it.
Then we polished it,
and I feel like that polish like made it even.
It didn't make it worse.
It made it look like dirtier.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But
we're literally polishing a turd.
Literally.
But like, I don't know. I was looking at them like, I was like, frick. I'm like, how did I like get my boards like? I'm like, my other boards like are really good glass jobs, but when you're dealing with that much area, it's just like,
it's a lot.
It's so hard to stay motivated.
Yeah.
You're just like, like I want to be done already.
And you were trying to teach me too at the same time.
I was trying to teach and getting home from work.
Yeah.
And just like, but that's when I was in the machine shop.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what I like looking back, like I think I would be like, your boards for the most part are gonna surf like pretty good. Like you won't.
You can trust it. Yeah.
You won't notice too much difference. Like you'll notice a little bit.
I stay within guidelines.
Yeah.
Like, not too much rocker, not too thin, and pretty wide.
Right.
And that I'm at least gonna be able to catch a wave.
And if you can at least kind of put it to the aesthetic, like the eye thing. Yeah. Like if it looks good, if it looks symmetrical, and it looks like everything blends.
Yeah.
Then you'll have a board that rides pretty good.
Like if it looks pretty to you, whoa, this thing's like you could just look. You're just like kind of like, oh, this thing's gonna be sick.
The part of making it like aesthetic is challenging. That's where the real craftsmanship comes in. That's like if you make it aesthetically good, you can make an aesthetically good board. Like I would say you are a craftsman. Like that's hard to do.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Not a lot of guys can do it. They have some, there's some shapers out there that, they make it routine. But
pretty boards, yeah. Pretty boards are nice.
But they've been doing it for like 20 years.
Yeah, you always gotta it's like, that's why I like standing back helps a lot.
Don't look at the details.
Well, no, when you're just doing it, just like take a step back and like look at it and like, oh, okay. Because if you're looking at a thing under a microscope, yeah, that part's perfect. Then you go to another spot, that part's perfect. Okay, cool. But those two parts don't mesh. Because you're like, okay, that looks good over here. That looks good over here. But they don't
blend. Yeah,
they're totally on a different,
right
zone.
You got to see the whole thing.
Yeah, you got to make sure everything, the full picture of the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's just surfboards, like if it sucks, it's gonna suck. But I don't know, I just wish I got more feedback on my boards. I got more. Let's see, Derek likes my boards. Our buddy Derek. I don't think have you ever surfed any of my boards?
No.
Kevin, my old roommate Kevin, he got barreled on one of my boards.
Nice. Now that I'm kind of like experimenting with boards, I'd be down to try your 9-foot.
You should you should surf my 7.6 fish.
Okay.
That's the board you should surf. And then, because that's going to put you in the zone of like mid-length.
Sure.
And then you could like just pick it apart and be like, okay, I don't like this.
This is a good conversation, actually. What do you think about a mid-length that has more of like a wider fish tail?
I have one.
What do you think about that versus more of like a pulled-in squash tail?
Can you ride a fish? That's the thing.
Gotcha.
It's like you got to know how to ride the fish. Once you could ride the fish, you could ride a wide
tail of a wider. Long.
It's just different to ride a fish. It's a different tail to ride. But like just think of a big fish. Like you paddle in super early. You're sitting way outside, and then then you get into early. Then you could generate way more. It's all about speed. Like around here, it's all about speed generation.
Right.
So you're generating all this speed. Now you're making huge sections. You're doing big floaters, and you're doing cutbacks. That's all it is, floaters and cutbacks. What else do you need? Get a little barrel every now and then. A little head dip.
Airs. Like I'd say barrels are more uncommon than airs.
Around here, yeah. Nobody gets barreled around here as much as how much airs per capita because we have lowers.
Yeah.
There's 100 times, like I would say way more than 100 times more airs
than barrels.
There's no barrels here.
Dude, no, lowers will barrel on the right swell.
Yeah, I know.
You get a little offshore
but
wind
on
and
any
you get a big swell.
But it could be the shittiest swell blown out.
And guys are still doing
are doing 360s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's true.
And and we don't have our beach breaks kind of suck.
Yeah.
So
they're all right. They have their day every once in a while.
But yeah, I'm just saying there's way more. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, you could do I'm just talking mid-length wise.
Yeah. So this is
like you do a top turn, boom, off the top, whatever.
This is an interesting point though. My cousin.
They're more for cruising.
My cousin only surfs single fin longboards.
Okay.
And so when he tried a mid-length with 3 fins, he didn't know how to surf it.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense to him. So then he just went to a single fin. And all of a sudden he knew how to surf it and it made sense.
Yeah.
But that's a really interesting point.
See, that's the thing. I can't surf a single fin.
Me neither. I don't get it.
Suck at surfing single fin.
Well, they're just annoying. They don't do that much. They kind of just weave and bob.
That's not true because people rip on them. I'm like, how are they doing all these things? And I'm like, well, they're
I've
totally
never seen someone rip a single fin.
Maybe they're on a good wave then.
I've never seen it.
I've seen it.
Maybe on a longboard.
I think you gotta more. You gotta do more of a high pro kind of rail on it.
Yeah, I don't know what you do, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the single fin.
I can never learn how to generate speed on them.
Well, okay, if you
I remember surfing a single fin. I'm dropping in. I'm I can make this. I can make this section. I'm a little deep, but I can make this, and then I can't. I'm what the heck's going on? Because I'm used to surfing a fish. I'm I'll take off way deep. I don't care. I'm just rah. Right. Just race car to the shoulder. and or whatever, make the section.
So yeah, like if there's less drag, like if you're thinking about a twin fin versus a 3-fin,
they just don't
there's
see.
less
We don't
drag with a
know how.
twin fin?
Like, see, that's the thing. We don't know. There's people that know how it works, and they're like, yeah, this is how it works. It goes like this, and it goes like this.
Dude, I know
that's
how
why,
it works.
and that's why you could generate a ton of speed. And with this, you're kind of just like waiting for it,
Yeah.
or you're just not surfing it right. Because I don't know. I don't know how to surf a single fin. The only time I surf a single fin on a board that's bigger than 10.6. My longboard's single fin, and my gliders, 12-foot and single fin. I feel like I could I was doing a little pumping on it the other day, and I was like, kind of.
You want those loose because they're so freaking long.
Well, no, it's actually not loose at all. But I was like,
but that's
I was
what a single
generating
fin
speed.
is.
Like
it's a little more.
I
loose.
needed to scoot it a little bit. I needed to generate a little bit of speed.
Yeah.
I think I was able to. I kind of gave it a couple squirts.
Sure.
Couple movements in the pockets, and it worked fine.
Little Huntington hops.
No hop.
Oh, okay.
No, I was just going like this, just and it did it.
Nice.
And I was like, whoa, okay, cool. That thing's sick though. It's just so rad. I love not doing anything. It's so great.
Simple surfing. Yeah.
Yeah, doing a cutback on it, you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, right. Can you really? Just the longest drawn out cutback, like
Dude,
way into the flats, huh?
Way into the flats, and then you scoop it, and then I scooped it back into the pocket, and it's so big, I was dead stop. And I just ran forward on it a little, like, woo,
all of a sudden
it goes again. I was like, oh, it got me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's so funny.
I wish I could have seen that.
It's a
That would be
freaking
amazing.
pier just turning, she's just like, it's so big. It's like you shouldn't turn them.
Yeah.
But that's why you want to ride them on a point break.
That makes sense.
Don't ride old mans. They kind of suck at old mans. There's too much people now, and it's
yeah.
I ran over 3 girls. It's so dumb. No, I didn't run over.
Dude, I was surfing old mans the other day on my longboard, and I was like, that wave is so fun because when you have the right board.
Was it good?
Yeah, it wasn't super big, but it was just so peely, and I was just doing figure 8s on a longboard, just cut back, come hit the phone, cut back again, and that wave it just kind of sits there for you.
Keeps going.
It's almost like trestles, like lowers, where it just the
pocket stays in the same place.
Yeah,
because it doesn't travel.
And it's so slow. Yeah, and it stands up good. I felt like I was on a sector 9 on on a hill.
Yeah,
just going back and forth, just boom, boom, boom. Yeah, just nonstop. So fun.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been a fan of Santos in a while.
I love Santa.
I kind of been over. I kind of back to Dog Patch. Kind of just want to be alone.
Yeah.
And just stay away from people and just catch my own waves.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's gotten better than what it was in COVID.
Yeah, I rather just go to stay at Trestles.
Trestles is good too.
Yeah.
We're pretty blessed. We have that whole zone of just beginner to
yeah.
I don't know, intermediate or advanced surfing.
And now it's wintertime, so now we got more waves opening up.
Yeah. But we don't talk about that.
No. Got secret waves.
But okay, so we talked about what's most challenging making your own boards. What's maybe the most rewarding or thing that gives you the most joy?
Making a board?
Yeah.
Surfing it?
Getting
a good wave. Going on you're excited.
Why? That versus
all the waves are good right now. Oh, my board. I gotta take my board out.
What's different about that versus a board that you purchased?
It's not yours.
Yeah.
Because a board you purchase, it's whatever. Okay, you're
you don't have the same
cool. I'm stoked this board works because I expected it to work or something. It's
yeah.
It's not really. You don't even give a shit really. You're okay, this board's. It's
supposed to work. Yeah, great. It's doing its job.
This board sucks, and you're fuck this board.
Yeah, and then if it doesn't work, you're oh, my expectation is.
Yeah, but when you made a board and you're excited to see what it does and kind of
there's not really an expectation.
How does it handle speed or whatever. And you're kind of just what is he going to do? And next thing you know, you're just flying and you're getting hoots. That's the cool. That's that's when I appreciate a hoot.
Yeah.
Is when I'm riding my board. It's someone's yeah. I was yeah, fucking woo. it rules. You're like all happy about it. You're like, yeah, it works, dude.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing. Like, that's the best too. That's okay. That's one of the best things is when you like first jump on the board,
Yeah.
like you just shaped it, and then like it's the first time you're taking it out. Has a shitty wax job on it. I don't know. Every time my first wax jobs on all my boards, they always suck. And I jump on it, and it's like, and you're like kind of like, whoa, it's floating, and you're like, and then like, oh, it's floating weird. Okay, I gotta scoot this way. I gotta scoot up or down. And you're kind of just like figuring out the sweet spots in the board.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun. I like doing that. Like when you shape a board, and you're like, whoa, this thing's like floating a lot in the tail. It's like, what the heck's going on here? Or like, yeah, it's like weird, but that's fun. But yeah, catching a good wave on your like board you just shaped, that's pretty sick. Or like, so that orange board I made, that thing surpassed all my expectations. Like I thought it was gonna be the biggest pig and just suck really bad. I thought it was gonna suck.
Yeah.
I thought I was just going to be like, okay, I'm just going to go straight down the line. I thought it was going to be like my glider I got.
Right.
Okay, it's just going to go straight down the line, and that's it, and it's just going to get into waves easy. Like, I was like, all right, cool.
And then what? It just rips?
Yeah, it really kind of turns. It turns really well, but I'm a bigger guy, so it's like other guys don't like to. But I've seen a bigger guy surf it, and Martin.
Yeah.
He kind of was. He didn't like it. He hated it. I don't know what that about, but he didn't like it.
There's something about your own board. Yeah, it's that baby.
He didn't like it. But no, but he liked my 7.6 fish. It's just that was it was past his like anything bigger than like that 7.6, he wanted a cross step and nose ride.
Yeah. And you don't do that with that board.
Yeah, no, it's not. You could cheat or 5 it, but he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's massive.
Yeah.
And I probably weigh more than him. But he didn't like it. He's like, all right, yeah, I can have this. I'll have your board back, please. But we're always surfing it right, and he's goofy footed, so
yeah.
We scored one time uppers, me, him, and Derek. Like we both were on our longboards, and it was like it was just a day, like a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah. And
we're just like, the waves were kind of small. I'm like, let's just go down to bob wires. We'll go log. We're like, all right, we're gonna go log and bob wires. Cause that's where Martin wanted to go. Martin wanted to go log and bob wires. I'm like, yeah, waves suck. I'll go wherever. And then we go out there, and the waves are okay. And then like at uppers, it starts peeling like all these waves, and nobody was even on them. They're breaking deep, and we're like, ooh, well, I moseyed over and got one like almost like into the bay. And I was like, oh my god, like nose ride, cut back. I was like, holy crap! Paddled back out, got another one, and then like next thing you know, we're just like, it's just like me, Martin, Derek on like every wave of the set. And there's like these like little peelers that are going forever. I was like, and there's some people around there kind of bummed, but we just moseyed over from bob wires, so it was the current, It wasn't us. But it was rad though.
You weren't backpedaling people.
But it was tiny. It was a shit day. It wasn't a shit day actually. It was really good conditions. It was just small.
Yeah. It's funny how some people will get super upset on a small day too.
Oh, they get
even more upset sometimes.
They get a fuming.
Yeah.
Well, you're sitting there for freaking 3 hours.
Yeah.
You're sitting there for 3 hours. You haven't got a wave. You're watching guys like having a great time.
Like and you're on your shortboard.
And
right?
you're on your shortboard.
And they're on a longboard.
Tits deep in water, and this guy
paddles.
paddles.
Work so hard.
This guy paddles by you with his fucking foot in the air like a girl. And he's all freaking kicking his feet, freaking loving life. And you're just like, how do you pissed? And then you cut. Then like and he has seniority. That guy that's been sitting there forever, but he's on the inside.
Yeah.
I remember one time it was probably a dick move on my part. But I was surfing. I'll surf for a long time, and I was surfing around people a little bit, and then I just caught this wave, right?
Yeah.
Caught the wave, stand up, and this guy is behind me. Like I'm already standing up, and the guy's like, kind of like, he's still paddling, and I'm on my feet, and he's paddling. I'm already stood up, like I already caught like. where he was, I was there before the wave got to him.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to back paddle me like super hard. And now I go surf. And he's like, "What was?" And I paddle back. I was like, "What was that all about?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I was in the perfect position for that wave." And I was like, dude, I was already on my feet. I'm like, there was nobody around me on your, like, he was like scratching, and he's like, I'm already on my feet, and I'm just like, okay, I'm bottom turning down the line later, bye. But it's like you get
and
he's
that. Upset that you.
Yeah, because he was deeper, and he would in like if I wasn't there, he would have got a sweet wave.
Yeah.
But I was there, and he didn't get a sweet wave because I caught the wave before him.
Right.
You know, I caught it way before.
Did he have priority? Was he sitting there longer?
No. He freaking paddled over. He paddled over deeper than me, but inside deep.
Yeah.
And I was outside less deep.
Yeah.
We're still like close.
Yeah.
I was like on the peak.
This is an interesting conversation because like that's such a common thing, especially at trusses. Like someone's always paddling deeper than you, and maybe they're inside, maybe they're outside.
The best thing is the freaking like the duckies. I treat them like my duckies.
What's that mean?
They follow you. You go catch a wave. You go start surfing deep.
Yeah.
They'll follow you like little duckies. No, because I'll go surf the outside. I like to surf the inside too. I think it's better like on the inside uppers. I like going towards the hut. Like I like surfing in front of the hut.
Yeah.
Or into the bay. A little bit.
It's a little too fast there.
I know, that's why it's fun.
Yeah.
Because when you get a one that goes, you can just get a closeout that keeps like that doesn't quite close out, and you're just going down the line. You know, it's fun.
Yeah. On a big board. So is that what a big man board is like really for? Is just going down the line, just like
going down the line, jamming.
Yeah, you don't
jamming. Woo,
you don't get to do too much like top to bottom.
No, it's not top to bottom at all. You're doing floaters. No, you bottom turn. You'll do, like if it's like a flatter wave, you'll do a big bottom turn. Do like off the top a little carve off the top, set up again. But once it starts getting steep, it's a floater or a pump. Yeah. You're either gonna float or a pump. What are you gonna do? You know. Yeah. And then you just go. And it's more for fun. Like you're not trying to like. I'm not pushing no agenda or anything. I'm just kind of just chilling.
Yeah.
And just like you're like, woo, just have
style points.
It's all fun. Just not even style or anything. I don't care. It's like I'm having fun. Yeah. on this wave.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for freaking even being able to catch it. I'm like, oh, I got this huge board. Oh, it's hard sometimes. Some of the takeoffs are pretty late and steep and you're kind of just like, whoa. Derek always calls it my YMA takeoff. Because it'll be like a small wave. I'm like, because the board's like you got to be on the tail or something. You got to you can't just like drop in. You can't just put your feet down and go. A lot of times you're like adjusting and like so I'm like off balance. I'm like and like sometimes like I'm like, how was that YMA takeoff? He's like oh, it wasn't so bad. He's like and then he was like oh he's like that was a full YMA takeoff. I'm just like out of control. It's like
Oh, that's funny.
Just arms flailing everywhere. Barely pulled it. Like get down the bottom. Yeah. But yeah, good shit. It's usually on smaller waves. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Big boards work better on bigger waves.
Right.
It's kind of awesome.
Bigger paintbrush for bigger waves.
It's kind of awesome. You could sit way further outside because they'll pick you up.
Right.
And then you're kind of just like cruising, you know?
We don't really get big waves like that here though.
Yeah, but like, you know, anything overhead, a bigger board's fun. It's so much fun. Like I learned that with my dad when I was a little kid. We'd call it super longboarding because my dad was like my size.
Yeah. And
he had boards that I ride now, like 10.6s. And I had like my longboard was 8 foot and it was like maybe 19 wide.
Sure.
You know, that was my longboard that I had. And like when I was a little kid, you know, I was like 10 years old and I'll take his 10.6 out that a 220-pound guy rides.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, whoa, like you're like this. You don't have to like you don't have to paddle. Sure. You could I could stand on them. I remember as a little kid, I could stand on them, just like okay, look around a little bit, you know, because they're so big. But like I remember just like surfing. Like I remember one day we surfed Old Man's like 6 foot, and we're like, let's take the super longboards out. Just me and my brother, we just take my dad's longboards out. It's like sick. You're just like Just like, oh crap, you're getting smoked. Like every time a wave comes, you're just like holding on. You're getting pulled, catapulted. This little kid trying to hold on. Like I don't even think I was 100 pounds yet.
Yeah.
Riding like a giant board. But that's why it's fun to me. Is like riding
It's a little bit out of control.
A big longboard or
It's
board
a challenge
on like
to control it.
Yeah, a big longboard on a bigger wave. It's like it's way more interesting.
Yeah.
It's like there's chop. You're like whoa, because like also like there's more volume for you to get thrown around too. Like it's just not settling. Like this thing's like will catapult you. It'll like launch you in the air.
Dude, one of my favorite things, even on a big wave, is doing like because I've seen Andy Irons do it and it just looks so sick.
What?
Is you just come so low, bottom turn,
Oh
bottom
yeah,
turn,
that's the best.
and then when you see it just standing up, like the absolute last second, just go bah.
Yeah, do a big turn.
Yeah, just off the top, just as
I
late
haven't
as
done that in a
possible,
while.
and then just let it push you back.
I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, but that's kind of the nice part about a smaller board is you get a little bit more of that.
But I like that feeling though. I'll do that feeling. I'll get low on bottom turn and I'll just
draw it out,
generate forward momentum.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's fun too.
Or if you just
going fast, dude.
Going fast.
Going fast is a good time.
But that picture, that Tom Curran picture where he's like hands.
Yeah.
I'm doing that
hand
bomb
right
turn at
on the
J-Bay.
face.
He's like, yeah. That's like laying on the face.
Yeah.
That's like the best.
Classic.
That's the sickest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. Big boards are fun. Big man boards are fun.
And making your own board is pretty fun too.
Making boards are rad. I like it way better. I don't like ordering boards.
You just ordered a 12-foot board.
That's different though.
Because you can't make it yourself?
I know. I don't want to make it. And then, it's like you can't mess that one up that much. Like, I know what I'm getting right there. It's like kind of like, it's like, oh. But like all the stupid, weird other boards I like to make and ride, those ones are like, I would have never got those made. Something would have happened with those.
Yeah.
Like something would have got pulled in too much. Something would have got too thin. They would have done something too much. Like even that board I ordered. Remember, it was supposed to be a pintail. My 12-foot board was supposed to be a pintail. They made it a squash. I guess it's just a big Phil Edwards. It was supposed to be a pintail.
Jeez.
Every time without fail.
Is that common for surfboard orders?
For my surfboard orders, it's very common for them to mess up the order.
That's funny.
Me every time.
What is it with surfboard?
I have the worst luck. It's because you have dudes that don't want to work.
Yeah.
You know that shit won't fly.
They get too high
in a real manufacturing facility. Those guys could not last. I don't know. I don't want to freaking ruffling feathers, but a real and some of them probably come from a manufacturing facility, like an aerospace facility. It's like they don't even want to be there. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, it's very high standards.
Yeah.
But it's like, how hard is it to like? I said pin. We wrote down pin, and I got a square. And it's like a 12-foot board. At first, I was like kind of bummed. I was like, oh, because it goes with the aesthetic. Like the nose is like sick, everything's sick, and I wanted a pin.
Yeah, yeah.
I just wanted the visual. I didn't even care what it did. I just wanted the visual of it, and then it's just like, it's like sick outline, then it's like square. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
That's funny. You could always just kind of sand it back down.
And then they made it. It was kind of like the rails too. The rails super thick on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it paddles insane. It paddles good. It catches waves real good. It goes really fast.
Sure.
It paddles like insane. Like it paddles really good. Like not even just for a wave. Like you could just like go and like paddle.
The hard part about a board that big though is like if you go into whitewash, if a wave breaks in front of you,
you gotta wrestle.
You gotta
wrestle the gator.
Your momentum all of a sudden stops. You gotta
go. You gotta freaking go. Oh yeah. No acceleration.
Yeah.
Zero acceleration. Yeah, that's all right.
Do you ever?
But once you get to your speed though, you're hauling ass. It's
so like, paddling into a wave. If you get up to speed, top speed, like you're cruising.
You're doing, it's fine.
Yeah. Like getting out is a challenge.
Like you don't want to surf a short period swell.
Yeah.
With that board.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to turn around and go.
Yeah.
Right? And which, were doing the other day. It was like this little short period swell. It turned out great, and we got tons of good waves. But I rode that board on like, and so I like turned up and go. I'm like, oh my, what the heck? I was
You
like,
can't go.
I wasn't free. I was serious. I felt so stupid, like missing a wave on a 12-foot board. I'm on top looking like, you're like on top of the wave, still paddling,
Yeah.
and you're just like kind of like digging, trying to dig into it. I'm like, how am I missing this wave right now? Like I was in the perfect spot. It's just because I had to turn around. I didn't paddle fast enough.
Dude, the same exact thing
It's my
happened
fault.
to me. No,
My fault.
the same exact thing happened to me on this last swell, this big swell. I go down to Oceanside, and it's cranking. It's like 8 foot. I was like, oh, I didn't even know the swell was hitting yet. Because I went by trestles, and it was only like 3 or 4 feet. But it was like 8 foot down there.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, oh, well, I have like this like bigger like 7 whatever board. And I was like, okay. So I surfed it because it was, just extra volume was cool. And then, dude, I was like sitting in the wrong spot. Like I couldn't even get into the waves.
You got to be under it more.
I got to be on top of it. I made that adjustment. I just scooted up like 2 inches.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I was getting every wave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty rad.
That's sick. Well, you catch a lot of waves. You're a good paddler.
Yeah. I got a big wingspan.
You should ride my 12-foot board. You'd be stoked.
I want to try it.
You'd
It'd
be
fun.
It's kind of
Especially this time of year where it's smaller and just long rides.
Yeah, that's kind of where it goes the
Yeah.
best. But I'm bummed because I want to ride on a big swell though.
Dude, that was the swell. That was literally the swell. I paddled out my 9.0. I caught 2 waves. And I probably got 30 turns between the 2 waves.
I'm not gonna get any turns. I'm gonna stand there and like adjust.
Just cruise.
Just stand there and adjust. Like okay, I need to slow down.
Dude, I caught like a 200-yard wave.
That's insane. I have the best times with that 7.6 fish because that one went faster and it was small, but it went faster in a way. It was like more maneuverable, and you could just like really get it going.
Yeah. I want to try it.
You could really just kind of like boom, 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 boom. It was fun because it was like I was over the 6.0 fish. So I was like, hey, it's cool, but like I want to be able to catch like big mushy waves.
Yeah.
And so 7.6 was like, here you go, catch all the big mushy waves.
Yeah.
And then 9 foot's like, you catch all the big mushy waves and the small mushy waves.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. I'm an idiot.
I gotta take a piss. Should we wrap it up?
Wrap it up, B.
Dude, it was good. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being patient.
Did we even?
This was take 3, guys. Like this is my 3rd time trying to get the audio and video to work together. Hopefully this one finally works. But
hopefully,
Shane, appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Big Man Surfboards. Rock on with the